Good to know. Just leave it like it is. You'll get us confused.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you'd be here today.
Wasn't it freezing, Nichols?
Are we up?
To do the transportation future?
We're live? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. It's 10 a.m. We're here for the regular session of the Hunt County Commissioners Court. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our flags. Please stand.
Shall we bow? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the ability to come to a nation and live in a nation that has freedoms where your word does count. We thank you for the gift of life. As we take care of the business today, may we do it in a righteous way. Give us knowledge and give us understanding and patience with each other. In Christ's name we ask all these things. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honoring the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, everyone. We have Commissioner Hutchins, Monroe, Harrison, and Martin present. I'm Judge Stovall presiding over the meeting today. Commissioners, you have the minutes from May 9th, 2023 regular session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. The Commissioners Court cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff that may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course of response. Do we have any? David White.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, your judge and commissioners. Thomas Jefferson famously said, "Evil triumphs when good men do nothing." Well, I'm going to tell you that the town of Merritt is going to do something. And the first thing they did, as you well know, is we voted down the MDD by the final result of over 88%. I think that was quite a statement. The second thing that's happened is our state legislature and governor has now signed Senate Bill 2038, which allows all who were annexed or ETJ'd after January 1 of 23 to be removed from that ETJ. So basically, Farmersville is going to have to roll back that ETJ. The annexation's still a little questionable in my mind. So the next step would be on our part, the town of Merritt, to get them to reverse annexation on the Chaparral Trail coming into Hunt County from Merritt to Celeste. So today, I've put together a package with help from several people who shot me in the right direction at least, that highlights on the first page an article from the Greenville Herald-Banner, which has information regarding the plat of the town of Merritt. I know that's way too small to read, so I had to blow it up myself, so I'll just state what it says. In the first caption, it says, "A new home. At long last, the town plat of Merritt lies in its rightful place, and Johnny Brazil of Farmersville, shown left, is the one responsible. County Clerk Opal Johnson shows Brazil the plat that will be filed in volume 400, page 730. Just look at the grin on his face. Almost a century old, the town plat of Merritt, notarized in 1887, is shown here after 92 years of existence in a drawer of the clerk's office at the Hunt County Courthouse. Several pieces are missing, but the document remains in fairly good shape. Although it may not have been properly filed in the county clerk's office, it is searchable and you can find it. I hope to get that rectified, so it is actually at volume 400, page 730. The next page is a copy of the search results highlighting that indeed that plat is in the Hunt County records. The third page is a copy of the actual plat of the town of Merritt highlighting that the plat was either originally filed or refiled on May the 21st, 1979, when Johnny Brazil approached the county clerk's office. The next page is a copy of the expanded view of the language on that plat of the town of Merritt. It reads in the upper left-hand paragraph, "Thereby certify that this is a true and correct map of the town of Merritt in the county of Hunt, state of Texas, as the same was surveyed by me on the ground," and I believe the signature is W.B. Riley, engineer.
Go ahead. You're all right.
In the upper right, it reads, "The above map of the plan of town of Merritt in Hunt County, Texas is hereby adopted, and all the sales of lots herein by me will be made with reverence thereto." And I believe the signatures that are attesting to that are Ted Clearby, president, and Martin A. Davis, secretary. The last paragraph on the bottom is from the notary of the county of Galveston, state of Texas, dated January 21st, 1887. The next page is a document, so document number 2010-10717, where Charles E. Ball requests a cancellation of a portion of that subdivision plat from the old town of Merritt. Well, this document refers to the town of Merritt several times and highlights that both that Commissioner's Court at the time recognized the town of Merritt as recently as 2009 when Stovall and Associates surveyed the area. Lastly, as a purveyor of truth and accuracy for all maps, I state that with tongue-in-cheek, Google Maps recognized the town of Merritt as represented by this copy. I submit that it is a smidgen of evidence that someone somewhere has additional information that the town of Merritt has grown beyond the original plat of 1887 to a much larger town. So I submit this evidence to highlight the existence of the town of Merritt since January the 21st, 1887, and that the town of Merritt continues to grow today and therefore should be duly recognized as such. However, I do realize that there may be intervening law that precludes this from occurring, but I trust that the Commissioner's Court, with the help of the town of Merritt, will be formally recognized. Thank you for your service and for your time today.
Thank you, sir.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
In reference to this, please.
I mean, we can't go
I
back
won't.
and forth, but the Farmersville issue is on the agenda, and so as long as it's issue of...
May I just read this?
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you. This, Mr. White?
Yes, sir.
The gentleman that notarized this one thing, I noticed that he had it notarized in Galveston.
Yes, that is correct.
Was he actually from that area in 1887?
I cannot answer that question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Being none, I'll close the public testimony. There wasn't anything online?
No, there's not.
Okay, I'll close the public testimony. Old business, we're going to skip it till after executive session. New business, commissioners, you got the consent calendar. Entertain a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Action item, under action items, approval of accounts payable.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Approval of line item transfers.
Make a motion to approve line item transfers.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Approval of budget amendments.
Make a motion to approve budget amendments.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of payroll and personnel.
Make a motion to approve payroll and personnel.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. A proclamation declaring June 2023 as Elderly Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Sue Stadler here? Yeah. Come forward, please.
I want to thank y'all for having me here today and bringing it to everyone's attention that June is officially Elder Abuse Awareness Month. So we're fixing to hit that. It is a problem. It's not often talked about. We hear a lot about child abuse, which is a horrible thing. But I'll tell you, elderly abuse and neglect and financial exploitation are equally as horrible, and it's very prevalent. So not very well out there in the media, but we want to make everyone aware of it during the month of June. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do.
Well, you can read the proclamation if you want to, or we'll read it, or however you want to do it. Okay. Being an elder person, I can read it. Me and Commissioner Martin are kind of happy about this.
I can still read though.
That's right.
2023 proclamation declaring June as Elderly Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. Whereas people who are elderly and have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of Hunt County by helping to preserve customs, convictions, and traditions of many people from diverse backgrounds. And whereas these residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. I like that part. Whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And whereas Texas APS in-home caseworkers in Hunt County have investigated 342 cases of abuse, neglect, or exploitation against our elderly Texans or those with disabilities in 2022. Whereas elder abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. And whereas elderly abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods or in suburbia, and whereas many of these cases investigated by the Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to the people in need. Now therefore, I, Bobby W. Stovall, Hunt County Judge, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2023 to be Elderly Abuse Prevention Month in Hunt County, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce abuse and neglect of people who are elderly or have disabilities. Dated the 23rd day of May 2023.
Thank you very, very much.
You bet. Commissioners, entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Would y'all like a picture or?
Here's the proclamation. I would also like to say that on behalf of Senior Center Resources and Public Transit, we will be holding a program on June 15th at 10 o'clock a.m. to bring awareness to elder abuse, and we would love for everyone to come if they can. Lunch will be provided, and you'll get to see some of our wonderful senior citizens.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, let's go get a picture.
Trina, there's your picture.
You're not in the picture.
I'll put the microphone back over here in a second.
Let's remember that when we eat.
Make sure they got our address for meals.
Okay, look at me first. Attorney doesn't ever
Look at me first.
Okay.
For 2 years.
Not anymore, that's right. Went out the window. We don't have to say it back. I was agreeing, not implying.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Good, how are you? Good.
I'll see you that day, I know.
Thank you. Thank you.
For all the support.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hi, like she said, I'm Tracy Moser, I'm the supervisor for Hunt, Rockwall, and Kaufman County. And these are my two workers that work Hunt County. They are the ones who worked the 42 plus cases last year for APS in Hunt County. It's David Barham, and he has been with me for 16 years.
Wow.
And Sheila, you have worked APS. This is Sheila Morgan, and you've worked APS for total. So she's 20 years and I'm 23 years. So we've got a lot of tenure here in Hunt County, and we're very familiar with the county and our precious elderly people. So please, if you ever have any concerns or issues, give us a call, and we will work together with you guys and do what we can to protect these elderly individuals.
Thank y'all. Action item 2, the quarterly report of the Northeast Texas Children's Museum. Charlene?
Good morning.
Morning.
We have had a very busy year so far at the Children's Museum. First of all, for the first quarter, going back to January of to the end of 2022, we had 40,000 people attend the Children's Museum in 2022. And that's a lot, but it is 15,000 more than we had in 21, which just shows you the growth that is taking place. The 40,000 people came from 338 different communities. And as of the end of April 2023, we have already had 18,602 visitors this year at the museum. So we are hoping that by the end of 23, that we will have 50,000 visitors this year at the museum. In January, February, March, we had 12,000. Spring break was especially busy. We had over 2,000 come the week of spring break. Friday of spring break, we had 570 attend the Children's Museum, and I think that was a record. Our Daddy-Daughter Dance was held in February, and we had an attendance of 572 at the Daddy-Daughter Dance. Our theme was a royal ball, and we had 28 volunteers that helped with this event. We also offered in February our Weird Science program sponsored by Farmers Electric, and we had 2 preschool programs, Healthy Kids from A to Z and Discovery Kids, and these are sponsored by Caravite. We had an Easter egg hunt on April the 1st, and that's always a fun time. They had their pictures, they hunted for eggs and had their pictures made with the Easter Bunny. And then we had Frida May's Bridge Day. March began a very busy field trip season. We have had field trips every single day since the middle of March until today. And we've had to turn away 30 schools that we were not able to accommodate. Field trips have traveled from Rockwall, Garland, Sherman, Kemp, within an hour radius of the museum. And we recently had every preschooler in Royce City came. 18 classes of preschoolers from Royce City came the last few days. They came 3 separate days. We have just had our dedication of our new exhibit, The Fossil Dig. And for that dedication, we had representatives from the Upper Trinity Regional Water District, Lake Ralph Hall, the Perot Museum, and the City of Ladonia. And so now it's time for summer. We're ready to switch hats and start thinking about all the fun things we'll be offering this summer. And these include art classes, a fossil hunt, and even a children's choir from Tanzania will be performing. So thank you for your support and all that you make possible through that support. And we thank you from the Northeast Texas Children's Museum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charlene, as always, we appreciate what you guys do for the area kids and everything. And if nobody's been by there, I highly suggest you go by, pay Charlene and them a visit. It's amazing what they've been able to do out there. A lot of it does come from donations, but again, it's a big benefit for our kids. So at this time, I'll make a motion to approve the report.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Charlene. Action item number 3, the Treasurer's Monthly Report for April 2023.
Good morning, gentlemen. As you can see in your packet, you have the report for month end April the 30th, 2023. We have a month-end balance of $79,543,508.79, with $71 million of that being invested. We just topped 5% in our Texas class account. We're right close to that with our other pools. We're making really good return on our money currently of the $71 million that's being invested. And all of the treasurer's books and the auditor's books agree. The bank statements have been reconciled. Everything's in good order.
Thank you, Brittany. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 4, the quarterly report of the City of Commerce Animal Shelter.
Make a motion to approve this report.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 5, the quarterly interpretation discussing current ag life events and educational programs. Mary and David. Sarah's not with us. Oh, there she is. I'm sorry, I missed you.
Okay, so we all have our own little presentation. This one's mine. I'm going to try to figure out how to, can I present a PowerPoint? Anybody know how to do that? Doesn't matter, really? We can just go through it like this for safe time, but does
Guess you
anybody
can
know?
turn it over at the computer, can't you?
Okay, PowerPoint. Oh, definitely don't want to do that. Back.
Back.
I'm going to stick with what I know. I'll just click on through here. Okay, so my big program I did is extra special to my heart. It was with Lone Oak Elementary, the exact school that raised me as a young lady. God bless them. And so this was an awesome opportunity to get back into my own community and give them a little extra enrichment to the good things that they already do out there. And so we actually made them a healthy school recognized campus, and I'll kind of tell you what that is. Okay, so basically, any school can get with the extension office, get with me specifically, and try to reach this achievement of being a healthy school recognized campus. And what that means is I get to come in and I run a awesome walk-in program with all the students, and then I have to run 2 other programs. I run an adult program and then 1 more youth program. And so Lone Oak signed up to do it, and it's the first one in the county, so I'm super excited. So that's basically what I just said. So down in, from October to December, we ran a walk across Texas with the kiddos. Simultaneously, we ran a walk across Texas with the staff, which was super fun. And then the third program we did was called Choose Healthy, and it was with all the 5th graders on the campus. So let me tell you a little bit about Walk Across Texas for the kiddos. There's me in PE class, so they have a lot of fun in that PE class, but that is exhausting. Those days that I was there for that was very tiring. God bless those coaches. So how this Walk Across Texas Youth broke down, we had 7 grade level teams, so pre-K through 5th grade. The ultimate goal was each grade level should walk 832 miles. They all met that goal, and surpassed it. So I collaborated with the coaches and PE teachers, and they accrued the miles and tabulated them and reported them to me, and I kept track of all that. I put this neat map in their hallway, tiny little buffaloes, you can see them all the way on the left, represented each of the grades levels, and it takes 832 miles to walk, if you're brave enough, from El Paso all the way to Texarkana. And so each week I would come and move the buffaloes and, initiate the competition between the grade levels and then make a league standing poster, and we would announce it over the intercom to kind of keep the kids competitive. They're competitive out there in Lone Oak, y'all. They really are. So the third grade is the grade level that actually won, and their prize was for me to bring out our agency smoothie bike and have their administrators and their teachers manpower the smoothie bike so they could enjoy a tasty, healthy treat. And so you've got Mrs. Brand in there, assistant principal, Mrs. Whitehead, the new principal out there, and then some of the third grade teachers. They all cooperated and participated with so much joy. It was a pleasure being out there. Now, this is where it got kind of extra competitive and even more fun. The adults, like I said, all 69 staff member competed in the Walk Across Texas with each other. And here's how they did. There was 8 grade levels, again, 832 miles. They accrued them each week and reported them on our little Howdy Health portal and to me. I gave a weekly update, and to motivate them, I created a spirit stick, and it was basically an old Southern mum on a PVC pipe, and it was about this tall when I gave it to the first team. It's 10 feet, it ended up being 10 feet tall. So the idea is that each week there would be a spirit stick winner, and they added their own spin to the spirit stick. So this is what it looked like in the beginning, and I was going to bring it today, but then I thought that was going to be way too much anyways, because it ended up being huge. But it kept them moving, and it kept them excited. The winning team ended up being the PE coaches and the custodial staff team. Imagine that. They move and groove all the time, and they walked collectively 1,689 miles. And I partnered with Family Home Health, and they sponsored the prizes, and so each one of those team members are going to get a brand new pair of Nikes, and I'm going to go on Thursday at their end of the year awards assembly and celebrate them there in front of the whole Lone Oak community. I'm super excited. But it was Family First Health that sponsored those for us. Oh, I don't think it's going to play my videos. That's okay, we'll skip on through. They're pretty funny, though. So here's pictures, weekly update, spirit stick passing. So like I said, it kind of started out with this group over on the right, top right, and they were super excited, and they ran in and out of the classrooms chanting, "Winner, winner, chicken dinner," rubbing in their victory in everybody's face. It was pretty fabulous. And then it got passed on. So you can see how tall it started to get. They added lights and pictures and vandalized each other's pictures. It was awesome. They were a super fun group to work with. Last program, I worked with the 5th grade. Oh my goodness, I admire those 5th grade teachers for running their 4-day cycle, their cycles every day. So I went in there. Let me click to this one. There we go. So I went in there and ran 6 sessions with them, and so I was there all day, and there's 4 groups of them, so I ran the program 4 times every day all 6 times I was there. Some of the things we talked about was My Plate, and did all sorts of hands-on activities. We did healthy hydration and rethinking your drink, and it shocked them how much sugar is in their Gatorade that they think is making them healthier. We did another one about read it before you eat it, learning all about nutritional fact labels, and then we made blubber burgers, which are just as delicious as they sound, but it lets the children know how much fat is actually in the foods that they eat, and they were able to scoop out lard and convert the exact amount. And so here's a few more pictures of that. I shocked this young man. He couldn't believe that there's 16 teaspoons in a Coca-Cola, 20-ounce Coca-Cola, but that's what it is. And so we had a lot of fun together. Each time I was there, I prepared a healthy snack, so they got exposed to a really yummy chicken salad that I thought would go over like a lead balloon, but they loved it, which was great. We did parfaits. We had a really, really good time together. And so they did all of this throughout the whole school year, collaboration with the teachers and the administrators and the school board. And so, like I said, Thursday, I'll get to present them this awesome banner. Sarah's going to help me out here. Here's upside down. But they'll be able to put this outside the school. And if they want me to come back, so they'll get a badge for this year, and then every other year that they want to do it again with me, we'll just keep adding badges.
All right, turn it around so the audience can.
There we go. And so it is a 4-H program, a youth development program, so you can, you can see all the 4-H logo and stuff on there. But it was super fun. It was the first school and first school district in Hunt County to do this. So I'm hoping I can come back again next year and tell you about us doing it in different schools as well.
And you're presenting this at the end of the year awards, right?
I definitely am. They're so excited to get it, but anyway.
Judge,
Yes.
I've been on this court a long time. This is the most exciting thing.
Oh, yay! Very good. Thank you, Mr. Martin. All right, I'll let them carry on.
Sure. David wants your contact information. Sarah, are you going next, or, yeah, okay.
Oh, look. I knew I got that out, but there, that's all my good stuff. That's where to find me. And we share an office with voter administration, so that's where we are.
Gosh, that's funny, wasn't it?
And which one are you?
Okay. And so my report for this quarter is also a youth-related activity as part of my Ag and Natural Resources programming that I think you're probably most familiar with, the adult programming that I work with. We try to teach ag literacy to youth as well. And so for many years, I have hosted the Hunt County Science of Agriculture Day. And this is an event where we invite every school in the county to bring their fourth grade students. And I think 1 year out of 15 have been able to have every school there because they may have something else happening. There was something, like one school, one community this year, Commerce, all the teachers that week were scheduled to be gone to a reading academy, so they didn't get to come this year. But we ended up having 674 fourth graders from across Hunt County. And there's about 1,000 in the county. So we have we reach at least 75% of the fourth graders in the county. And so as you can see, we do this at the Top Rail Cowboy Church. And so the students get bussed in. This is a 2-day event. The students get bussed in. Schools are broken into the 2 days. We start out, have them all in the bleachers. So, 400 to 500 kids up in the bleachers. And I start talking to them about agriculture. Does agriculture touch your daily life? Well, they're like, no, and so we start the day that way and ask them to raise their hand, and we don't have many, and that think it's important. So it takes a lot of volunteers to get them off those buses and in, and then we start, and I have 10 stations set up that the students go through in groups. The groups range anywhere from 30 to 50 kids. We put classrooms together and go through these. And so to highlight those partners that work with me on this event, Greenville Electric, Juice, sends two of their representatives, and they teach about high wire safety and electrical safety. And they have this kit that's a real-life simulation of what would happen if there was a downed electric line, and the kids all love it when it makes the spark, when they show, like, if you accidentally got a kite in a power line or something, what to do if you find one on a road. And then there's a station on bees, and local beekeepers help me every year by presenting at this, and we've got 4 or 5 that I work with over the years that'll take turns coming in and teaching the bees. And the most fun fact, and something we gauge their knowledge increase on in that station, is, did you know an adult honeybee only makes 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in their life? Yeah. So we all learn something at this ag literacy event. And so, but then we talk about how without pollinators, a lot of things that you eat do rely on them, and why bees are important. Then third station is on 4-H, and our 4-H dog project comes because one point we try to make to all these students is that you do not have to live on a farm. You do not have to own animals. A dog's an animal, but you can do other things. And so they show them what their dogs do and talk about how they go to dog shows and have a project meetings on dogs. And when we talk about other things such as archery and robotics that are offered that aren't your traditional county fair animals. Kyle Patterson, who's with Texas A&M AgriLife Wildlife Services, sets up a feral hog trap and shows how technology can be used in agriculture. And he has one of those traps that you can watch a game camera, and then you can punch a button on your phone when you want the trap to fall and trap the feral hogs, which are a huge problem here. And so the kids get an idea, and he always asks the teachers first, but he traps kids in the hog trap, and they think it's delightful. So, and he sprinkles candy on the ground inside the hog trap to show how the hogs are drawn to corn. So we haven't traumatized a child yet with that. And then we use the Texas Farm Bureau Learning Lab, and it's a trailer that the sides drop down, and one side talks about dairy and beef and meat products. The other side talks about your grains, sorghums, wheat, those types of products. So the students spend 10 minutes at each side of the trailer. And our local Farm Bureau board, there's Chuck Smith in the middle picture, Freddie Dale, Bob Greenway, retired agent, and others that work at Farm Bureau come help to teach that. David Drake, my coworker, comes and talks on the grain side, and we teach them there where most of their food comes from. Milk does not come from just the shelf at Walmart. Then one of my master gardeners does a talk about vegetables and food, and she did a really neat program this year. I think we've tweaked that station a lot over the years, but this year she broke down a hamburger and talked about all the different food types that go into the hamburger, and that even the beef and plants, and how the cows will eat the grass and makes the beef. And so salt was the only non-plant item that would have been in the hamburger. Then our partners at Farm Service Agency and Natural Resources Conservation Service, Monica Provence and Crystal Jackson, they bring a soil tunnel, and it's like a big bounce house, but you don't bounce in it. The kids get to walk through it, and it shows all the different layers of soil and talks about the water cycle, which is very much in 4th grade curriculum. That's something they're learning in 4th grade anyway, and so it reinforces that. Then Kathleen Hooten, who's served on my ag committee for many, many years and is also the school board president in Commerce, she teaches an animal station. And my 4-H members, they bring their goats and a heifer and chickens and rabbits, and we show different farm animals and talk about what kind of meat they're used for and or milk. Our dairy goat project brought their dairy goats this year. And it wasn't near as exciting as last year. Last year, a chicken actually laid an egg in front of the kids. So that was a big day. And so, again, you've seen this on lots of the slides, that agriculture impacts everyone's life. That's what we're teaching. Mary did her Rethink Your Drink program as one of the stations, and again, taught about all the sugars that are in all of the drinks that a lot of kids think are healthy. You can see there on there, there's, juices and different things that kids drink in their sodas and Gatorades, the things she discussed. So that's a really neat program that's getting out there a lot. And so just a lot of pictures here of the kids, but you can tell they're engaged, they listen, they rotate through the 10 stations, and then I bring them back into the bleachers and talk again about, now is agriculture important to your daily life? And everybody in the stands raises their hands at that point. And the Farm Bureau, Hunt County Farm Bureau, donates a girl's bicycle and a boy's bicycle each day. And the way we keep control of 500 kids a day is there's a ticket. And if you've behaved, you get a ticket and you get a chance to win a bicycle. So that gives the teachers some leverage to keep their students in line for 3 hours as they're going through all of the stations. It does take a lot of volunteers to put this on. Master gardeners, 4-H leaders, ag committee members, and others come. And so we had 16 adult volunteers and 19 youth volunteers serve this year and help to actually run the day. And then our office and staff, we put all the pre-work into this. And one thing that's always, people are always just like, this just went so smooth. Yes, because we work on it for 3 months to be sure that it does. And so, but just the value of the volunteer time, if you had to hire all those people, would be over $6,600 to put this event on. And that's volunteer time that's given. One last piece of information is that I gather data and results on this. You can't read the words, but there's a pre-test and a post-test. That the pre-test is delivered to all the schools prior to the event. We ask the teachers to have their kids take the test. It's a true-false 27-question test. And then the same questions are sent home with them on a post-test. The kids take a second test, and we can then have the results of exactly what they did learn. And that helps us to know, too, if we're teaching well, if they're learning at all these stations. And I don't have the summary yet of the results. I've been hoping they would come in. We send those to College Station to be done, and I got the email at 9:10 last night. So the results didn't make the slide presentation today, but many of you, we do come back and present our annual reports at the end of the year, and so there will be one written on this. But in past years, in some of the areas, we've literally had up to more than a 300% increase in knowledge on some of the items that we ask them about. And then our speakers, our sponsors are very important. It does take about $2,500 a year to put this event on, just with supplies and waters for speakers and everybody. And the volunteers are fed each day afterwards. And so these were our sponsors this year, and they come back annually. Rafter P purchases T-shirts for all volunteers to wear so they can be seen the day of the event as staff, and we purchase event insurance for it. So there's just a lot of little costs that add up to putting this on, but we're super appreciative to these sponsors who help us make this happen. So today obviously we're focusing on our youth highlights for the spring, and so this is my youth literacy, ag literacy main program that has been done this spring. So any questions on this?
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks. If you have contacts with principals at elementary schools, encourage them to always come.
Okay.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
The Ag Day is my annual Teacher Appreciation Day. do that 2 days out of the year. So I work with integrated pest management, mostly with row crops. So we look at pests and disease control and how to use them in a integrated system. So I'm going to talk about wheat today. In Hunt County, annually plant about 20,000 acres of wheat. Our average yield is 50 bushels, and the current price of wheat is $8. And so that's about a $8 million crop in this year. Now, if we look at the best farmers and if we look at our research practices, which we promote, we can easily take that yield to 100 bushels if the year gives us the right rain and the right time. So there's a $8 million, we could double that gross income with education and best management practices. And so this year, our main constraints have been this insect pest called Hessian fly. And so it's a very small fly that comes out in the fall when you plant the wheat. It lays its egg on the leaf. Then that egg hatches, becomes a little maggot, crawls down to the base of the plant and feeds there. And it can either kill that part of the plant or it can stunt it. And so it doesn't produce as much wheat as it should. And so there's a lot of control practices, which I won't go into, but the major one we've been focusing on in the education effort is resistant varieties. And so there's a lot of, farmers have lots of choices in the varieties they select to plant. And we screen those varieties for ones that the fly can't survive on. And so that's really the best management practice. This is just a picture of this is a field from last year. The wheat should look like that, but the flies are feeding on it, so it's really stunted. This is a picture from this year. This is a stem with the little maggots in it. So we've actually had 2 years of this problem. So that's Hessian fly. We're working on that. We also annually look at foliar diseases. So this is a fungal disease. This is stem rust. The disease comes and goes. This one kind of popped up this year. The same thing, we can look at resistant varieties or we can look at fungicide treatments to treat the disease and increase our yields. And so both these practices are if farmers will use them, they will increase production. So we annually conduct field days, and so this is a demonstration field day we had in Fairley up at the CCRI farm this year. It was on May 10th, and we plant the varieties out, and we also have experiments where we have the fungicide treatments, seeding rate, and weed control treatments. And so farmers came and viewed that. And then also, because I cover more than one county, we also had field days in 4 other locations in Northeast Texas this year. So that's been this effort. We will have a summer crops field day in July, and that'll be at our Greenville University farm, and we'll look at what I call summer crops. So all of you are on my email newsletter, and that's where I announce the field day. I know you get a lot of emails, so I'm not, and I do too. But anyway, that'll be coming up on the last week of July. So that's what I wanted to focus on today.
Thanks, sir. Any questions? Thank you, David. All right. Thank all of y'all for your presentations and for what you do in educating our kids. I know it's a passion for y'all to do the job, the way you can tell by the way y'all act. Mostly Mary, of course. All right, Commissioners, I entertain a motion for approval of this report.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're going to skip 6, 7, and 8 till after executive session. Action item number 9, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities, which will be in the right-of-way of County Road 2584 in Precinct 2.
Make a motion, we approve this construction under normal stipulation.
Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 10, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities which will be in the right-of-way of County Road 3220 in Precinct 3.
Make a motion, we allow the construction with the normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 11, the upgrade of approximately 180 feet of County Road 2152 from rock to oil sand in Precinct 1. Money is in escrow.
Make a motion, we approve this upgrade.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 12, the upgrade of approximately 4,745 feet of County Road 2740 from rock to oil sand in Precinct 1 at county's expense.
Make a motion, we approve this upgrade.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 13, the upgrade of approximately 2,112 feet of County Road 2750 from rock to oil sand in Precinct 1 at county's expense.
Make a motion, we approve this upgrade.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 14, the final plat of Phillips Ranch number 2 in Precinct 3. Brian, you want to come brief us?
Hey, guys. It's a pretty simple plat. It's on state right-of-way. Due to a letter from TxDOT approving an additional driveway entrance for the new lot. Pretty basic plat.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Daniel, are there any comments online? All right, at this time, then I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session under items 1 through 4.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into executive session at 10:51. Y'all can stay in here if you choose, and we'll be back.
Shows we're back up.
Okay, it's 12:30, we're back in regular session. Old business, action item 1, approval of access and use agreements related to the radio tower on land owned by Combined Consumer Special Utility District. Daniel?
All right, this is the easement for access to the radio tower site that'll be down south of Quinlan. There's you have in front of you a 2-page document that's entitled Interlocal Agreement for Ground Lease and Maintenance. Basically, they're giving us a portion of the front, I guess the northeast corner, for $1 a year. In exchange, we're doing the things that are listed here. This is the same form that we talked about over the past couple of meetings. The Combined Consumers Group is set to meet to approve this Thursday, but we've gotten word from them that they believe everything in here is good to go. I can answer any questions that you have, but this is the form that we talked about a few times.
Okay, any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's go to action item number 6. Approval of real estate purchase on contract for deed for property ID number 37311, 37310, 207425, 37302, and 20783.
This is the approval of the property purchase for the Marriott Puddin Hill property. That's been under contract with the county for a long time, several months. The requirement to finalize that was that the asbestos remediation be completed. That's been completed now. The reports have been finalized and sent to the appropriate parties at the state to confirm that the county's not going to have any ongoing liability for additional remediation in the future. They're mostly done clearing that property out. They should be done very quickly in the next few days, certainly the next couple of weeks. This is being brought before the court right now in order to give Judge Stovall the ability to finalize that contract and complete the closing potentially in the next 3 weeks before our next meeting.
And then we'll be paying for this property out of the ARPA funding. And we've already approved the money situation. The auditor's already put the money for the $2.7 million that will be authorized to be spent to purchase the property. So I entertain a motion for approval of the purchase of the properties as listed on item 6 and giving me the appropriate authority to sign all closing documents and to disperse the purchase money funds out of the ARPA funds.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 7, a resolution of amending the interlocal agreement between Hunt County and Greenville for tax increment investment zone number 1. Daniel?
All right, this is a reciprocal agreement in order for this to actually go into effect, it would require that the city and the county both execute 2 sides of a resolution. Basically, in 2008, there was a tax income reinvestment zone established by the city, the county, and the hospital district. It had a very specific geographic area. What this does is just one thing, which is to add 8 separate parcels of property that are contiguous with the existing TERS zone. But they're all down southeast of the Cadillac dealership on Monty Stratton and I-30. This is related to a very large development with a group called Wildcatters. They're doing a big mixed-use development that'll have a very large park in the middle and up on the highway a hotel convention center, shopping center, houses, a large neighborhood with others to follow, and then a large apartment complex at the back. If this is done along with 10 other documents that have to be approved by other bodies, then the next move would be for them to start turning dirt next month on the expansion of 3 different roadways down there, 2 large ones, 4-lane roads on Traders and Monty Stratton. All this is doing is adding those 8 parcels. What that would do to the county over time would be that the increment, everything from today moving forward, the increment for those properties, so any increase over what the 2023 taxes are in between now and 2043, whatever comes in from that taxes on that difference, which is called the increment, that would be split, and 50% of that, of the county's tax income from that, would go into the TERS account to be used for paying them back for the horizontal infrastructure that they're about to put in, water, sewer, electric, road, and grading.
Okay, any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve action item number 7 with the stipulation that it's not final until all the other entities approve the same investment zone.
So moved?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 8, approval of access easement agreement with CEHOLA for radio tower access.
All right, this is CEHOA, is the Crestview Estates Homeowners Association. They control the road access that goes next to and adjacent to the radio property for the tower that we just talked about with Combined Consumers. What this agreement does is provide a permanent access easement for the county that will require the county to maintain the portion of the road between the existing county road and the southern end of the gate area that goes on to that property and require that maintenance to occur as long as the county maintains the radio tower. The radio tower is set to be there for 30 years. Within 30 years, I'm sure technology will change. It's not clear whether or not the technological changes will mean that we don't have to use that tower anymore. If they do, then this agreement is drafted in such a way that if we stop using that, then the maintenance stops as well.
Any questions?
Daniel, is it full maintenance or just, is it maintenance generally broadly or just when the other adjoining county road is maintained?
It will be when the other county road is maintained, which I think is Everly.
It'll be what the contract says.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so where that is in the, let me show you or tell you where it is. It says the county agrees to repair and maintain where it begins, but the very last part of sentence number 1 says, on each and every date that the county maintains Beverly.
Okay.
And so it won't be an issue where we have to go fix a pothole every time somebody calls. That was definitely not the intent for the court or the homeowner.
Basically, when we work on Beverly, we can work on that road at that time.
That's correct.
That's what it says.
Perfect. I just wanted to clarify that.
Entertain a motion for approval.
I so move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You want to brief us on Farmersville or go?
Yes. Yeah, since our last meeting, I did have 2 other meetings and a couple of phone calls with both the district attorney and the county attorney about the things that we've been talking about in here. At this point, we still don't have all the information we need for those 2 elected officials to make a choice on what to do next, if anything can be done next. We're waiting on a very specific set of documents that have been requested in public information requests. So I expect we have 3 weeks until the next meeting. I suspect that we're going to have a lot more information. There's lots of other issues going on. Obviously, Mr. White talked about the potential incorporation. There's been a lot of talk about incorporation of Merit. That may have some impact on what happens next.
Okay. All right. Next issue we'll take up is consider raises for the sheriff's department. Y'all want to come up and make your presentation?
Commissioners, thank you. What we've done is we're still trying to reach out and get, new people lured in to come to work. And we're so far behind. We're not asking to jump up to keep up, because with like Greenville and places like that, we understand how far we are below and what it would cost to do that. We don't want to do that we can't do that to taxpayers and everything, and request that even. But we have reached out and did a salary study with surrounding areas, and probably Princeton was about the closest, and we're still going to be under Princeton. And one of the reasons we don't mind to be under some is we have great benefits, and we appreciate that, and we want to keep them benefits for our county employees. But what we have is we have a surplus of $650,000 of money that has not been spent because of people that's just shorthanded. Cannot get people to work. And when they do, they bounce from here to one of these other new little places that's got a big city coming in. So we're asking to take that surplus and now make the jump. It would be $288,500 to spread out in the way that these other cities do between the deputies, their sergeant, the lieutenant, and the captain, and the chief deputy, and in a way that it brings in people to work. It also gives an incentive to promote. Nobody likes to take a big headache on if they're not going to get paid for it. And trust me, each one of these positions has its own headache. But we would really appreciate y'all considering this. We passed out kind of what we was going to do and just divide that money up so we can go ahead and get these raises in effect. And then, from now on, we're just the cost of living, trying to bring it up to where it needs to be.
Sheriff, can you tell us how many openings you currently have for deputies?
13, 14. And that's been holding pretty steady at that number. It's just, like I said, the growth of these developments coming in is swallowing our officers, but yet we're still responding. I mean, they'll go to another location, another town that adjoins us in hopes that, with the growth of taking these developments in that is still in the county, that we're still having to respond to. And the other thing is, y'all got to understand that these smaller agencies is paying this bigger money. They still don't have the amount of people they need. So as a county officer, we're required to respond and back them up, cover when they've not got an officer on duty, and then still cover the 900 square miles with 4 people that we've been having.
Well, it's just a continual problem. Other entities are upping their salaries because they can't hire people, which causes us to lose people, which causes us to go up, and it's just a domino. Everybody keeps raising them. I think Commerce just raised theirs, and I know some of the other cities have raised theirs, so it's the world we live in today, and nobody seems to want to be a law enforcement officer, and we have to have y'all. We have to have good people out there on our streets protecting us, and I, for one, want to support our law enforcement with everything we can.
We thank you. I think that, but I want to say these deputies are out here and they're working. I mean, like I said, there's nothing no worse than going to a house that's got a front door kicked in the middle of the night, nobody's there, and you're the officer that has to clear that whole house by yourself, knowing that your backup is, 30 minutes away. And my guys are doing it, and they're proud to do it, but we need more to help. It's a safety factor, and we're not even at Princeton, we're not asking for what they're making because of our benefit package stuff. We're just trying to get it up there to where we can say, hey, we're moving forward, y'all are behind us, and y'all come to work for us, and it's going to be a good thing in the future.
Sheriff, I want to tell you something. I appreciate what y'all do. And I believe this commissioner's court basically has tried to have good law enforcement and up the scale. But I feel like that we need to up the scale it that much more so we can continue having people apply for the sheriff's office and this not becoming a training. This has been a training thing for our officers. So just about the time they get trained, they go somewhere else. So I think we need to step up and support you in reference to this and the ones that serve us so well.
You got to give Shelby credit too, because obviously she's the one that's done all the work on this and putting it together.
Yes.
Well, she's the brains of the operation.
Got to give her credit.
Yeah, Shelby's my administrative assistant, and boy, I tell you, I can't say enough about her because I'm lost without her.
She makes you shine.
Surround
And that takes a lot.
Surround yourself with the best, that's all I can tell you.
Well, let's, Shelby, if you would, read off the proposed increase, or I guess proposed new, we'll do, if you got current and proposed, yes, of each different class.
Your Honor?
Yes, hang on.
Understand this, that this will be basically automatically put in. It's not.
Well, it's going to be effective on.
What date?
May 29th, I think is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Current deputy salary is $54,495. We're asking for an increase to be at $57,995. The current sergeant is at $62,534, and we're asking for an increase to be at $69,034. Lieutenant is at $64,627, and we're asking for an increase to $74,627. Captain is currently at $66,063, and we're asking for an increase at $81,063. And the chief deputy is at $67,943, and we're asking for an increase to be at $87,943.
And removing the stipend on
And
that
the stipend, yes.
from the
Commissary.
commissary fund, yes.
So I guess like in 41 deputies increased by 3,500, 10 sergeants will increase by 6,500, 3 lieutenants increased by 10,000, 2 captains increased by 15,000, and 1 chief deputy increases by 20,000, and removing that stipend.
And what we're trying to do is get the disparity of it. We are having a hard time getting people to take promotions because the pay scale was there was no gap. They were all making about the same money. So we're trying to widen the gap of salaries to get other people interested in holding those other positions so we can keep those full. Because we have openings in all those positions, I believe.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring in new, and to do that, you have to start here to build up. I mean,
Judge, I would like to also advise this, that this Commissioners Court has issued in reference to adding mental health retardation as far as mental health aspect training. Would you please talk about that?
We added 4 officers that we haven't been able to hire yet.
And we've got one officer right now that's really interested. He's one of our new officers that's just came out of training. We're going to run him on the street some. He's very interested in it, and we're hoping to get that program. That's one of the programs, along with we are still missing 1 school resource officer at Campbell. We've now got 1 in Bowles, and working with Bowles and Campbell, these cities that did not have any coverage for their schools. And so we are moving forward with y'all's help. And like I said, these are still below, the other, like Princeton, but our benefits, our package, a lot of the young people does not understand that, but retirement and good insurance is a great thing that Hunt County does have, and I brag on that anytime about, and we just want to bring more people in and let them stay. I mean, I know what kind of an officer that's going to come here and stay and even make a residence here and bring a family. I can't say enough about how much we need them. They're vested when they come here. They're vested.
Well, the pay scale's still less than City of Greenville also, isn't it? It's not just Princeton. It's several other cities. It's not just the one. We're catching up with some of the other Caddo Mills and Rockwall, Royce City and Fates and some of those that are stealing our people over there. Yeah.
Royce City, I've got Royce City. I've lost to Royce City. I've lost to Fate. Lost to Caddo, and we want to fix that. Okay?
Even the state, they're having problems filling their vacancies.
It's the times we live in.
Yes.
It's not something, I mean, this is a hard-driven job, and it's getting to where you don't see it that much. And I'm going to tell you, people may not like the police, until you need one.
That's right.
And
All right, anybody got any other questions?
I make a motion to approve as presented effective May the 29th.
I second that motion.
Any other discussion, comments? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
very much. Thank you.
Bet. All right, anything else before the court today? Being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 12:51.